What is going on, Dolphin fans? Today we're going to analyze the tape of defensive tackle Kenneth Grant, really talk about his rookie season, and we're going to get into some of the positives, some of the negatives, we're going to talk about some of the struggles, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, man, watching this guy's tape, I think there's so much upside with Kenneth Grant. I think he's going to become one of the more disruptive defensive tackles in the NFL. The guy is very hard to block, and I know it's not perfect, I know he's not flashing and dominating and just having these impactful plays, but trust me when I say this, there was a time when Dexter Lawrence was taken in the first round by the New York Giants, and Giants fans criticized the pick. They say he was not a good defensive tackle, he didn't make enough plays. Over time, he became a really, really good defensive tackle, and truth be told, Kenneth Grant flashes a lot of the same things. So I'm excited to get into it, man. Let's just get right into the tape. We're going to start right away with these first plays here. Let's go ahead and just get right into this, man. We're going to start right here with this first play. You got a 3rd and 1. This play is actually going to pop for 20 yards because you're not going to get a tackle by the edge play, right? The edge, a pretty nice job initially, but you don't make the play on the running back. Running back picks up 20 yards. But I want you guys to watch this play, and it's plays like this where you say, this guy, he's flashing a little bit. He's showing some upside. And I say this because on this one, Kenneth Grant's going to basically go right through this center here. The center has a reach block. Keep in mind, this is a 3rd and 1 situation. That's why you got the front that you have here. But the center struggles to hold the block here. And let me go back to the all-22 angle. It's probably a little bit easier to see. You can see Grant right here. And he's going to shoot the gap to the right. It's going to be the A-gap. And look at that movement that he generates going backwards. And keep in mind, this is a rundown. And this is where Kenneth Grant's going to make his money in the future. But don't overlook the fact that this guy has a pretty nice swim move. He's so big and strong that guys lean into him and he just kind of swims over the top. I'll show you guys those examples as well on tape. But this power that this guy puts out there on tape is freaking incredible. This is an all-pro guard right here. And look at what he does to this guy. He basically tosses him to the ground. And he's trying a club move, right? It's not like he's not doing anything on this play. He is trying a club move. He's trying to get this guy off balance. And just look at the pure power that Kenneth Grant is showing on tape here. Again, that's an all-pro guard right there in Mike Ikwonu. Very, very, very good offensive lineman. And Kenneth Grant with the left-hand club is going to just straight up toss this guy out of there. In my opinion, this should have probably been called a hold on the right guard. Right guard gets kind of tossed and he kind of just pulls the defensive tackle down here as well. You got to look at traits sometimes. And with Kenneth Grant, you see some of these traits flash on tape. And it's not like 1 or 2 times. It is over and over and over and over again. We've gotten to the point in the NFL, if you're not like an instant Micah Parsons, if you're not an instant Abdul Carter type of player where you're just impacting plays on day one, if you're not that, you're kind of labeled a bust or you're labeled not a good football player. But remember, for every Micah Parsons and Abdul Carter, there's 100 guys like Kenneth Grant that develop into really good football players. The power here to be able to take on the double team, sticks to the block, gets off the guard, gets in there, makes the play. That's a really nice run rep right there. Here's another really nice rep by Kenneth Grant. On this one, he's going to do a really nice job not allowing the offensive lineman here to reach him. And he gets in there and he helps make the play. 1st and 10, this one only picks up about 2 yards. Let's go ahead and just break this down. So you're going to have a zone run here towards the right of your screen. All of these guys are going to step and they're essentially going to try to reach the guys in front of him. Now, Kenneth Grant's responsibility on this one is going to be that B gap. He has to stick within this gap. That is his run fit. So this is an example where one guy's trying to reach a guy and the other guy's job is not to allow that reach to happen. And watch Grant do a phenomenal job taking on this right tackle. And this is a good right tackle here. The right tackle is going to reach. He's going to try to get in front of Grant. Grant does a great job fighting through that. Ends up getting in there and he helps kind of make the play on this one. And the running back tries to actually bend this back to the inside. On the front side, you do a pretty nice job resetting this. You see number 93 as well as the edge player. They both are going to end up resetting the line of scrimmage. Running back's going to try to bend this back into the gap. And this is Kenneth Grant's gap. He does a really good job sticking in it. There's nowhere for the running back to go. He ends up trying to rebend this back to the other side. Again, this is a great run rep. And I know it hasn't fully clicked for Kenneth Grant. I know some people will continue to criticize it. But the guy is strong as hell. You see plays like this, power-based pass rush. And one of the things you do have to realize is a lot of what Kenneth Grant's going to do is going to be power-based. The guy's 6'3.5", 340 pounds, and he moves really, really, really well for that size. So a lot of the stuff he does is going to be power-based like this. And I am on purpose showing you guys power-based things, right? The power, the elite, strength. I'm showing that to you guys on purpose right now because there's tape that we'll get into here in a second where he builds off that power and he starts to go to some speed moves. Now, this run rep right here, this is 2nd and 3 to me. This is absolutely freaking incredible. Now, I want you guys to think about this play right here. The offense is going to run a power concept to the right here. And what that means is this guard has an angle block on Kenneth Grant. This is the easiest block in the NFL you'll be able to make. The guy's already shaded to the inside. The guy's gap responsibility within this play, being shaded here, it's to the inside. So this is basically one of those net negative type of situations where a player's gap is to the inside. The guard just has to make sure he stays to the inside. But this right here is an absolute incredible play by Grant because not only does he recognize the play quickly, right? He processes the information. He processes that he's being down blocked. He's backing it up again. He processes the down block. He recognizes, gets the eyes into the backfield. He recognizes the offensive lineman pulling to the right. Maybe he recognizes the running back. Maybe he knows the running back's on this side, so the run's probably going to be to the right. Either way, look at the power to stand up this guard, push him back, and he gets over the top. And he makes the play on this one. Again, this is truly, 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 truly elite level stuff. 99% of defensive tackles are not making these type of plays. Most of the time, you're going to get blocked down, and I'll just show you guys an example of that. Look here at number 94. He's not going to be able to get past this. You're going to get a back block by the center on the defensive tackle here. And the defensive tackle is not going to be able to get over the top. He's not going to be able to scrape to the right because the center here ends up having the defensive tackle locked in. Now, that's a pretty good center as well. But again, you see how much different it is when Kenneth Grant takes this block on versus the other defensive tackle right next to him. Again, to me, that's a really, really, really good job by Grant. Stands up that offensive lineman, gets off the block, gets in there, makes the play. That's a phenomenal job right there. I want to show you guys just a couple more run reps. Once again, just a really, really good job. On this one, you're going to have a reach block by the offensive tackle, and it's not going to work. Grant's going to just go right through it once again. The tackle does do a pretty good job initially getting out of his stance. He ends up getting the leverage on number 90 initially, but this is the greatness of Kenneth Grant, right? So again, really, really good job initially. The helmet's to the right side of number 90. All he has to do now is just turn the feet, work the hips, and essentially wall off Kenneth Grant. But Grant plays with good leverage, has the hands into this defensive lineman, or to the offensive lineman, and then look at him just turn right back past this guy, and he gets in there. This play picks up 2 yards on this next play. Once again, watch him take on the double team block between the guard and tackle. And this tackle's like 360 pounds, right? It's a physical offensive tackle, very, very strong. And again, look at Grant, man. Not only make contact with this guy, he takes on the double team, and he keeps the leverage on the guard. He keeps the hands into the guard. And look at him shed the guard, stay within that gap. Once again, 2nd and 6. This one only picks up a yard. Check this next play out. This is another thing that Grant's going to continue to be able to flash for the offense. You're going to have a power-based run concept to the right. And I say this with the utmost respect to teams that run power. Power is the easiest blocking scheme in the NFL, right? It is literally down block, up to the linebacker, back block. Maybe one of these guys ends up pulling, and then you get a different type of block here. But usually it's just easy, right? It's easy to block this because everybody already kind of has the angle. But with Kenneth Grant, the down block's not going to be as easy, right? It's a pretty good right tackle. The down block's just not going to be as easy, even though you're double teaming here. To me, this is part of what this guy brings, right? It's just a really, really good run defender. He's hard to move at the point of attack. And it's not just he's like weighs too much. Like the guy plays with really, really good leverage. I know Mason Graham was drafted a lot ahead of, not a whole lot, but I think like 9-10 picks before Kenneth Grant. I think Kenneth Grant's better, right? I watched both of their tapes from the rookie seasons. I think Kenneth Grant shows way more upside, way more potential. I think Kenneth Grant might even have better movement than Mason Graham when it comes to pass rushing. And I'll show that to you guys here in a second. But again, I really just want to continue to just show you guys some of the things that makes Kenneth Grant really good. On this one here, you're going to have a quarterback keeper to the right of your screen. This one's going to lose a yard. This was 3rd and 1. This is a pretty good center here. I believe this is Tyler Biadasz. He was with the Cowboys a couple years ago. He's a pretty good center. He's more of a guy that's going to reach and kind of get in front of people the way he does on Grant here. But, I mean, look at the power, right? I really like what Kenneth Grant has flashed on tape his rookie season. And again, I know, there's mixed opinions of Grant because, I have eyeballs and I see everything people post on Twitter and on social media, generally speaking. But this guy has huge upside. And this is the 1-2 of it right here. It's a great example. It's a great segment to kind of just get into the speed-based things that this guy does off of the power. So up to this point, I've shown you guys a bunch of power-based moves. This guy clubs a guy. He puts him into the ground. This guy does a great job with the leverage, and he takes on double teams well. He does a really good job pushing people back on down blocks and angle blocks. So Grant is a very strong. So as an offensive lineman, what are you going to do to compensate to block a guy that's super strong? Well, what's going to end up happening is you're going to put all your power right into this guy. You're going to go full stream right into number 90. You want to try to knock him off his spot. When number 90 recognizes this and realizes this, he just swims right over the top. And I said just a second ago, I think he has better movement than Mason Graham. It's things like this, right? He's essentially lined up in the 2-eye technique. The guard's going to try to down block him, and then he just swims right over the top to the backside 3 technique. And then he gets right in there, and he makes the play, right? This right here, to me, is really impressive. And it's a speed-based concept, and there's a lot of this stuff he does on tape. Let's talk about it. So you're going to have a 2nd and 5 on this one, and the New York Jets are going to run split zone. And instead of, this guy taking on the block, and instead of saying, hey, I'm going to get my hands into the guy that's trying to reach me, and I'll show you guys just an example using, again, the guys on the line of scrimmage. Now, before we go forward, let's take a second to talk about today's sponsor, Polymarket. This is a revolutionary product that I think is the future of all of sports. Now, of course, Polymarket is not just meant for sports. Technically, you can trade across many different markets from finance to crypto. But again, for us, sports is where it's at. And you guys can actually see that when you click sports over here on the left, it's going to give you every single sport that you can essentially think of. But for us, let's dive into the NFL. So if we get into the Rams and Panthers game as an example here, you can essentially pick which team you think is going to end up winning. So in this example here, let's say we pick the Carolina Panthers. You pick the price at which you want to buy a share and how many shares you want. So at $17 right here for 100 shares, you can see that the win would essentially be $100, of course, if the Carolina Panthers win. But here's the cool thing with Polymarket. And I think this is part of why it is the future. With Polymarket, you can make a trade at pretty much any point. So let's say the game begins, the Carolina Panthers return it back for a touchdown. The odds update, your 17 cents is going to jump to 30, 35, 40 cents potentially. One play flips the odds. You can essentially sell at that point. And you're going to profit because you bought it at 17 cents and now you flipped it to 40 or 50 cents. And you can cash out. Now, of course, if the Panthers get 2 or 3 touchdown lead or win the game, obviously you end up seeing what your $17 ends up being. Now, if you guys go to Polymarket right now using the link down in the comments below, use code SCOUT, you're going to get $10 for free from Polymarket. No deposit required. It's literally going to be $10 sitting in your account. Make sure you use my code SCOUT or click the link down in the comments below. Let's get right back into the content. Now, keep an eye on number 95 and 92. As the offensive linemen are going to step to the right, watch both of those defensive tackles. They're going to get their hands up, and they're going to lock in with the front side guy, right? They're going to lock in. They're going to play the run. They're going to take on the double teams. And that's going to be handled differently than what Kenneth Grant's going to do. Grant's going to go to speed, right? Instead of following this guard downwards, he's going to just get skinny, and he's going to shoot the gap. Watch him get skinny. Again, 340 plus pounds, 6'3.5", 6'4". He gets skinny. He just goes right through there. And he just disrupts the entire play, right? Because it's a split zone. You have the tight end here who's supposed to wham block the backside defensive end. And the defensive end goes unblocked now. Because Kenneth Grant beats the reach block, disrupts that wham blocking tight end. He's in the backfield. The running back now cannot go to the left side of this. And of course, you'll have the backside guys kind of closing it down as well. That's how you disrupt the run play right there. That's a phenomenal job by Kenneth Grant to use the speed, right? Get skinny, squeeze through the gap, shoot that. And again, there's speed-based stuff he does on tape. Look at a couple more examples of this. Here's another one. This time he's going to end up shooting the backside gap. Linebacker's not going to get over the top, so the play ends up hitting for 13 yards. But again, Grant has responsibility to shoot the backside gap. And again, it's a reach block. He's going to end up getting right back into the backfield. Again, if the front side gap was set, obviously Chubb ends up jumping inside as well. But if 25 gets into the gap, the fact that Grant ends up beating the offensive lineman on the ground here, he may have made the play on the running back on this one. Again, just a really good job shooting the backside gap. Again, guard ends up missing, right? So really nice job with the swim move, backside, speed-based concept. And a play obviously still pops. But these are the things he's flashing on tape. He'll jump the backside gap. He'll get skinny and he'll shoot a reach block. He'll swim, right? And we've seen that on tape multiple times as well. Now, in my opinion, I think the biggest thing that Kenneth Grant's going to have to do going from this year to next year is he's going to have to add more speed-based concepts and just fine-tune it a little bit. There's plays like this one here where he's going to end up swatting with the left hand and he's going to end up ripping, and it's just not that quick. It's just not that effective. And, it works still technically because you're going to get a free rusher into the inside. But it's just the little things that he'll have to continue to develop and just get a little bit more consistent at, right? But keep in mind, this guy still does have a lot of nice disruptive reps. And these are things he can continue to build on top of. And, I am excited to see what the Miami Dolphins do as they kind of go forward. They obviously fired Mike McDaniel. I honestly did not agree with that decision. I think Mike McDaniel kind of is in that Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay style of offense. And I know some people have criticized his leadership. And I'm not inside the Miami Dolphins building, nor do I follow the Miami Dolphins close enough where I know if players are like, speaking out or are going against some of the stuff that Mike McDaniel is doing. But I think the guy was such a great offensive coach. And given this is an offensive league, I like Mike McDaniel, right? So I'll just say that. But we'll see what the Dolphins do. If they go with a guy like Robert Saleh or John Harbaugh, I think one of those type of coaches could get Kenneth Grant to take a huge step forward. Robert Saleh, to me, would be the guy that would unlock a guy like Kenneth Grant. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think this guy's going to be really good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time with another video.